Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be making a video on housing for the new Erasmus scholars. So first of all, congratulations to you all that have gotten the good news, the congratulation message from your respective programs. I say big congratulations to you because you're just about to start a very exciting journey, and trust me, it's really going to be exciting. No spoilers. Yeah, I want to talk a bit about the housing because I think one of the things that you have to start arranging as soon as you get the scholarship is you have to start, apart from your visa, closer to the time you need to start thinking about your housing and accommodation. A disclaimer is that I can't say everything about housing. It's different per country. I don't know which country exactly you're going to, and I feel like talking about housing for each country should be a video on its own. So what I'll try to do in this video is try to give an overview. I'll try to give an overview or like a general guideline that should work irrespective of the country that you're moving to, and things to look out for. And I'm also going to be sharing a bit of my experiences in the countries that I have been. So I hope this video is going to help you in your housing adventure. So your first go-to option when it comes to housing, irrespective of the city you're moving to, is if there's a university housing agency for students or for international students in the city that you're going to or at your university. That should be your best bet. Trust me, you don't want to bother yourself or stress yourself about accommodation if there is already an agency, like a known agency that caters for that. For example, in Finland, I know there is LOAS. I think there's also OAS. In the Netherlands, there is Duo. There is one other one also in the Netherlands. And you have like different housing agencies like that in different cities, in different countries. So if there is one trusted agency in whatever city or country that you're going to, I would say that should be like a very good option for you to consider rather than trying to figure out the accommodation on your own. But why not? If you want to try, yeah, give it a try yourself. But it's always best and it's always easier. Like things are always under control because most times they have collaborations with the universities. Many things are taken care of, and they understand that you are students, so they try to cater for so many things and make life easier for you. So that should be your first like go-to option. And if you're not sure about this, you should already be in contact with your program coordinator or the contact person for the program that you got selected for, to just ask about if there is any housing agency that is in the city or in the country that you can apply through, or if there is someone in your program that you can ask from. Yes, don't forget to ask from them. And for some countries, not all countries have that kind of student housing plans, so you really need to figure things out for yourself. For example, you need to like check Facebook Marketplace where they do rentals. I remember in Italy there was, at least in the city where I stayed, there was no student housing agency, so you really need to figure out housing by yourself. So for a place like Italy where there's no student housing agency, most rentals are done through Facebook Marketplace. There is a dedicated rental Facebook page, for the city where I was. So I joined the Facebook group. Yeah, you really need to make these findings. So I joined the Facebook group. I'll come back to how you can find out about your options. But yes, so I joined the Facebook group, and then I started contacting. Yeah, when you join the Facebook group, you'd see different, like you'd see available rooms, and you'd see the contact of the landlord. Then you need to chat them up. Then you can start conversing about how to go about the rent and all of that. So that is another option. But when it comes to renting from Facebook group and not standard agencies, you have to be extremely careful. As much as possible, don't pay when you have not seen what you are paying for. Don't think that because it's Europe, they are not fraudsters. There are fraudsters everywhere, everywhere. So you have to be extremely careful. Don't, yeah, I mean, there are people that you don't know. So don't pay until at least you see, or if you know someone that is trusted that can help you check out the place before you get there. And another thing you can do is, if you see a place on Facebook Marketplace and you are skeptical about it, you want to see it first, you can take Airbnb for your first few days of arrival, and you stay in the Airbnb for like the first few days. Then you can check out the place within short period. You should be able to arrange the accommodation within the period. You should be able to find like cheap Airbnb that you can stay at least for a couple of nights, although it's going to cost you more, but it might be worth it. It's better to spend more on Airbnb and be sure of the place you are taking than for you to get duped of whatever amounts that you're going to be paying for. Another good way to get accommodation is to reach out to the Erasmus Mundus Association of the city or of the university that you are moving to. I know some cities are very, very active and very, very responsive Erasmus Mundus Association, like Italy. The Erasmus Mundus Association is very, very active in Italy. So, for example, you can join the group or reach out, contact the admins, or just find out online and find out how to contact them. Then they would add you to the WhatsApp group, and they help students arrange accommodation. And yeah, they are very, really, really helpful. And I know a couple of friends that got their accommodation through that. Another option is if you can get in touch with someone that's already in your program or that's already in that city where you are. If you can get in touch with someone there to help you, it's always very helpful. For me in Italy, I didn't know anyone, so well, I would say I was lucky because I reached out to people on LinkedIn that were there, that were already living there. Shout out to Rashid and AY. Those two guys were really, really helpful. Like, they welcomed me, they accommodated me, they took me like they've known me since forever. You might not be that lucky, in finding people like that could help you arrange things like that. But you might be lucky, so you should give it a shot. But if you already know people in your program that have stayed there before or that are currently in the city, please, by all means, reach out to them. Most people are willing to help if you are precise with your request and tell them what your situation is. People are always very happy to help here. And another way is reaching out to the Student Union Association of your university or of your school. Because for a country like Germany, I think the Student Union Association are mostly in charge of the student accommodation and taking care of that. So if you can contact them, most of these things you can find their contacts online. Just make sure that you're accessing them from a reliable website and from the right website, not just from some ads, and so just be careful. You can find most information online. To be honest, I can't give you the specifics for each country on how to get accommodation. I can only give general guideline. So to round it up, some tips to look out for and some peculiar experience. While I was in Italy, what I found out was that when I joined the Facebook Markets group and I was trying to contact the landlord, I was texting them in English and I got ghosted. I never got any response. And I know a lot of people that also say the same thing. They get ghosted, like the landlords never respond. So I later got to find out that the problem was that I was chatting them in English and most of them don't understand English. They understand Italian. So it was a game changer for me when I got the Google Translator and I started chatting them up in Italian. I was getting like fast response, and in a few days I was able to get an accommodation. Yes, so for places like Italy, it's always best to have a Google Translator and try to chat them up in their language, and then you can get more response. But for a place like Amsterdam, for example, or the Netherlands, where most people speak English, yeah, it's okay to chat in English. But when you be dealing with people in countries that you know that they speak very little of English, it's always best to just get Google Translator and chat them up in their language. And another thing that might be making them ghost you is because you're probably chatting with an international number that they don't recognize, so they also don't want to be played or duped, so they're also trying to be careful. So about that, I don't know how you can figure that out before you arrive there, because you have to be in the country before you can get the local phone number, right? So about that, I really don't know much about what you can do about that, but you can give it a try. You can chat them up with your international number, it's your Nigerian or your local country number and see, but try to chat them in their language and see if you get a response from there. Another tip I would love to share is please make use of associations, of student union groups, of Erasmus Mundus associations. They are there for you, they are there to serve you. Most of these people, they volunteer their time to actually help students, so please make use of them. And yeah, I mean, reach out to them, contact them as much as you can. And if you have friends already, like I said earlier, please reach out to them. See, it's always very good if you already have like a connection. It's just makes things much easier for you. And in worst case scenario, like I said before, just plan for an Airbnb for the first few days and be careful, don't get duped. And finally, I would love to say that don't be so desperate to just get any house that you first find. You have to make findings. You have to make findings about location. There are some places where it's best to stay near the university. There are some places where it's best to stay near the city center. It's just best to stay far away from the university. I remember in Italy, staying near the university is like, it's going to bore you out, number one. Number two, the transportation system when you have to come out or go somewhere is like, it's not funny. So in the city where I stayed, like in L'Aquila, it was best to like stay in the city where I stayed in L'Aquila. It was best to stay close to the city center or somewhere in between the university and city center. So staying close to the university in that case was not the best. And but that does not apply to all cities, right? That is not applicable. In Finland, it was the other way. It was best to stay near the university than staying near the city center, because almost everything you need is just close by to the university, and the transportation system was good and all of that. So please, you have to make findings about the location, about that city, make findings about where it's best to stay, ask questions, reach out to people, leverage LinkedIn, leverage Erasmus Mundus associations, reach out to them and ask people that have lived in the city before where it's best to stay. Is it best to stay near the university? Is it best to stay far away? You don't want to stay in a place where you regret or where you get so bored or where you don't have like facilities around you. For example, you need to get groceries, you have to go like long distance to get groceries, or you need to access the university and it's a problem for you, or you need to go out and it's a problem for you. So you really need to make findings about that. Then another thing you really need to make findings about is the bills. Please make findings about it. In my opinion, I feel like it's always best when the bills is constant, is fixed and together with the house rent, but you don't always have that option, right? So please discuss the bills and the bill plan for your rent. Discuss it very well, like be very clear on the agreements with the person renting the house to you, with the landlord. Be very clear about it, otherwise you'll be so surprised that you'll be paying house rent of 200 euros and your bills will skyrocket to like 250 euros 1 month, and at the end of the day you think you're paying 200 but you end up paying like 450 euros. So ask questions about your bills, ask very well, be very clear about that. Don't just jump on any house because you're an Erasmus student and you are going to be on a short contract. It's already a problem that your contract is going to be short, because most landlords want long contracts. So the fact that you're already staying a short period of time is already a problem for them. So if you now get a place, don't think that, oh, you first stay there for some time and you want to terminate after another time and get another place. Most times you just have to, the place you get is where you will have to stay till the end, because it's not so easy to get like a place on short contracts like that. So yes, ask questions, make enough findings before you take any house. Ask about the bills, make findings about the location, make findings about your accessibility to facilities. Also put into consideration the transportation cost and the transportation system of the city that you are going to. And for example, in the Netherlands, transportation is quite expensive. And if you're staying far from the university, just know that every time, except if you can cycle long distance, and that's fine by you. Otherwise, if you have to take public transportation from a far distance every time you need to come to the university, it costs a lot. I don't know, maybe you're really rich and you don't mind. So it's, in that case, it's like always nice or to stay close to the university, where even if you are broke, you can just walk down or take your bike and cycle down because it's not so far. So So you really need to put all of that into consideration. So the long and short of the story is that you have to make a lot of findings, ask people questions, and be careful. Like, you have to be really careful about your decision of accommodation before you take it, and be clear about your options, and don't just jump on any accommodation you find. I hope this helps, and yeah, I wish you good luck in finding a place to stay and on this adventure. Have fun and enjoy. Thanks for watching, and if you're yet to subscribe to my channel, please click on the subscribe button, like this video, and share with your friends. Thank you everyone, and bye.